Hello. Hello, police. Yeah, what's the problem, sir? We just drove down our farm track. Yeah. Go and feed our pheasants. We come across a Range Rover with 3 people in it. Yeah. It appears that they're dead. I don't know what's happening. Blood in the motor all over them.
And welcome back to a new video on the Essex Boys case. As always, if you are enjoying the content, please do give the video a thumbs up. And if you're interested in the Essex Boys case, or simply true crime in general, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. Jack Wombs was known by some as a hard-working family man, not the cold-blooded killer portrayed by the prosecution. During his trial, Wombs, standing 6 feet 2 inches high and weighing 18 stone with a 50-inch chest, looked jurors in the eye and told them, "I could not kill a sparrow." Wombs, 36, lived in a semi-detached house in the tiny village of Brockford on the main A140 Ipswich to Norwich Road. He worked for a time as a bouncer at Joker's nightclub in Stowmarket, and a former colleague described him as one of the nicest blokes I have ever known. He denied any involvement in drugs and said while working at the club in Ipswich Road, he had called an ambulance for a girl who, like Leah Betts, had taken a bad ecstasy tablet. "She was foaming at the mouth. That worried me sick," he told the court. Wombs, nicknamed Bubs, was brought up in Plaistow in London's East End, moving to Suffolk at the age of 8. Although half literate, he was a natural mechanic who once took a dynamo to pieces when he was still a child. As a teenager, he would go rabbit shooting with his family in the Suffolk countryside and described himself as an average shot. He went to school in Bacton near Stowmarket, where he met his future wife Gail, but tended to concentrate on things mechanical. On leaving school, he started work on vehicle repairs when his family moved to Mendlesham. A brief spell at Ipswich Docks preceded a move to G&T Commercials at Barham near Ipswich in the 1980s. It was at this time that he received his first conviction for hitting a farmer who Wombs claimed had thrown something at his car. Wombs was fined for the offence in 1985, but 8 years later he saw the inside of prison for the first time for obtaining property by deception. It was during Wombs' spell at Hollesley Bay Prison near Woodbridge that he first met his partner in crime, Michael Steele. Patrick Tate and Darren Nichols were also inside, but it was Steele who Wombs kept in contact with after his release in October 1993. He had not seen Tate since they were in prison together and said he did not know Tony Tucker or Craig Rolfe. Like Steele, Wombs was given his day on the witness stand and emphatically denied any involvement in the murders. But he admitted being in the Rettendon area on the day of the killings, telling the court he had gone to the village to pick up a broken-down VW Passat from outside a pub on the A130. He said he then put it on a trailer and returned it to his workshop in Main Road, Brockford. Throughout his 4-month trial, Wombs was given the full support of his family, especially his 5 brothers and mother Pam, who was in court almost every day. The following newspaper article is from the 2nd of the 12th, 1997, with the headline, "Suspect's Tears in the Dock." Burly Jack Wombs, accused of murdering 3 drug barons at Rettendon, broke down in the Old Bailey witness box. The 18-stone former nightclub bouncer was coming to the end of his evidence after 3 days in the box when he suddenly dropped his head and sobbed bitterly. He had just been asked by his defence lawyer David Lederman QC what he thought of suggestions that he shot dead the victims after a cannabis deal went wrong. Wombs, married with 2 children, blurted out, "I did not do anything like that. What they, the prosecution, are suggesting is ridiculous. You just don't know what I am going through, being locked up. They won't even let me cuddle my own son." Earlier, 36-year-old Wombs had denied being involved in the ruthless killings with co-defendant Michael Steele, 54, disposing of pump-action shotguns and taking part in a drug smuggling operation. He told prosecutor Andrew Munday QC, quote, "You're absolutely wrong. I would never do anything like that. No way, Mr. Munday." Wombs agreed with the prosecutor that it was pure coincidence he was only a few hundred yards away from the murder scene about the same time as it happened. The trio had been lured to an isolated farm track and cold-bloodedly shot on December 6, 1995. Womes claimed he had gone to Rettendon to pick up a broken-down Volkswagen Passat from outside a pub on the A130, put it on a trailer and returned it to his workshop in Main Road, Brockford, Suffolk. Mr. Monday, who alleges the Passat was used as a getaway car, asked Womes, quote, "When you were there, Rettendon, did you hear any large bangs?" Womes replied, "No, there was a lot of traffic on the road." Womes went on to say he did not know anything of the murders until his wife heard about it on TV news. He said he was saddened that one of the victims was 37-year-old Pat Tate of Gordon Road, Basildon. He and Steele had become friends with Tate when they were in open prison. After their release, they are alleged to have fallen out over a drugs deal with Tate and his two pals, Tony Tucker of High Road Fobbing and Craig Rolfe of Calshot Avenue, Chafford 100. Womes and Steele of St Mary's Road, Great Bentley, Essex, deny murder and, along with Peter Corey, 45 of London Road, Clacton, plead not guilty to drug smuggling. The trial continues. The following newspaper articles from the 5th of the 12th, 1997, with the headline, "Getaway Man's Death Threat." Supergrass, Darren Nichols took a big risk by informing on two alleged gang killers, the Old Bailey herd. Nichols, 32, had received a death threat from Jack Womes and Michael Steele, said prosecutor Andrew Monday QC. But he claimed that softly spoken Nichols, married with two children, was determined to see the two men put behind bars. He added that Nichols unwittingly became their getaway driver after they murdered three drug barons at Rettendon in December 1995. Nichols had been involved in several drug smuggling runs abroad with Womes and Steele and was warned to carry on with the operations after the Rettendon slayings. Mr. Monday said, quote, "He was told to keep on smuggling, otherwise he would finish up like the other three." It was shortly after the threat that Nichols decided to become a star prosecution witness, added Mr. Monday in his closing speech to the trial jury. He told how Nichols thought he was ferrying 36-year-old Womes to a secret drugs deal on the night of the killings. The victims, Pat Tate, Tony Tucker and Craig Rolfe, arrived at the rendezvous in isolated Workhouse Lane, Rettendon, thinking they were about to discuss the deal. Steele, 54, had turned up with the three dealers in their Range Rover. When he jumped out of the vehicle, Womes allegedly opened fire with a pump-action shotgun. Mr. Monday said Nichols, who had parked nearby, soon realised he was the getaway driver and was so frightened he almost crashed the car. His version of events that night differs greatly from Womes and Steele. They claim they were in the area around the time of the shooting, but only to pick up vehicles. However, Mr. Monday told the jury, when you examine Mr. Nichols' evidence, it stands the test. Judge him by what he was saying with care. In August, Nichols, an electrician from Braintree, admitted in court to conspiracy to smuggle cannabis with others and supplying Steele with a pump-action shotgun. The trial continues. If you would like to learn more about the Range Rover murders, then click on the video in front of you now. You will also see the Essex Boys playlist, which has all of the videos concerning this case in one convenient folder. Many thanks for joining me for this video. I look forward to seeing you all again for the next one. Take care. Cheers.